In the vast, lonely expanse of the Pacific Ocean, an island of colossal stone giants holds a secret far deeper than its silent, staring Moai. It is a mystery etched not in stone, but in wood, a language lost to the silence of history, an enigma known as Rongo-Rongo. Welcome to Echoes of Time, where today we journey to one of the most remote inhabited places on Earth, Easter Island, or Rapa Nui, to confront a puzzle that has confounded the world's greatest minds for over a century. Beyond the iconic statues lies a script unlike any other, a sophisticated system of glyphs that appeared in total isolation. What forgotten histories, what epic sagas, what dark and desperate secrets are locked within these undeciphered symbols, carved by a civilization that vanished almost without a trace? Our story begins not in antiquity, but in the 19th century, when the outside world finally stumbled upon the last vestiges of this lost language. Imagine the astonishment of the first Europeans to see these wooden tablets covered in elegant, repeating symbols. On an island thousands of miles from any known center of literacy, a place long believed to be a primitive outpost at the end of the world, was irrefutable proof of a complex written language. It was a discovery that challenged everything scholars thought they knew about the development of human civilization. The glyphs themselves were a marvel of artistry and abstraction. They were intricate, stylized figures depicting humans in various postures, celestial bodies, native plants and animals of the land and sea, from frigate birds and turtles to sharks and crayfish. The symbols were arranged in a unique system known as reverse boustrophedon, where one reads a line from left to right, then flips the tablet 180 degrees to read the next line. This sophisticated method is found almost nowhere else on Earth, a testament to the singular nature of the Rapa Nui culture. The existence of Rongo-Rongo hinted at a rich, complex society, a people with a history so important they devised a unique system to record it. But the promise of unlocking this history was almost immediately extinguished by a series of devastating tragedies. The arrival of European ships brought more than just curiosity, it brought catastrophe. Smallpox and other foreign diseases, to which the islanders had no immunity, swept through the population like a wildfire. Even more destructive were the slave raids from Peru in the 1860s. Raiders captured a significant portion of the island's population, including the ruling class and the learned elders, the very individuals who held the key to Rongo-Rongo's secrets. They were the scribes, the chanters, the keepers of the sacred oral traditions that the script likely supported. By the time the few survivors were returned to the island, the chain of knowledge had been broken forever. The wisdom of generations, the ability to read the sacred tablets, simply vanished. The world was left with only 24 artifacts, silent wooden witnesses to a profound and irreversible loss. In the silence left behind, a storm of questions and theories began to form, a debate that rages among scholars to this day. The most fundamental question of all is one of origin. Was Rongo-Rongo a completely independent invention, a rare and brilliant spark of human ingenuity flourishing in the most extreme isolation? If so, it would represent one of the very few times in history that writing was created from scratch, placing the Rapa Nui in the esteemed company of the ancient Sumerians, Egyptians, and Chinese. It would be a powerful testament to the creative potential inherent in the human mind, proving that even at the farthest reaches of the globe, civilization can achieve intellectual milestones. Or was its creation a case of what anthropologists call stimulus diffusion? This theory points to fleeting contact with Spanish explorers in 1770 who organized a formal treaty signing ceremony with the Rapa Nui chiefs. Could the sight of the Spanish officers signing their names with pen and ink have planted a seed, inspiring a brilliant local mind to develop a writing system tailored to their own language and culture? It would not be a copy, but an inspiration, a borrowed idea that sparked an entirely original creation. Just as contentious is the question of what Rongo-Rongo actually is. Is it a true writing system, a logographic or phonetic script where each symbol represents a word or a sound, capable of recording the full spectrum of spoken language? Or is it something else entirely, a complex mnemonic device designed not to be read in the conventional sense, but to act as a memory aid for trained specialists? Perhaps each glyph served as a cue, a trigger for a chanter to recall lengthy and complex oral traditions, genealogies of kings, sacred myths of the gods, or detailed astronomical observations crucial for navigation and agriculture. In this view, the tablets were not books, but scaffolds for performance, props for the preservation of cultural knowledge that was primarily spoken, not written. The meaning was not just in the symbols, but in the memory of the person who held the tablet. When they died, the true meaning died with them. From these foundational debates, even more tantalizing speculations emerge about the content of the texts themselves. If we could somehow decipher the glyphs, what stories would they tell? Some researchers believe they hold the great myths and legends of the Rapa Nui people, epic poems about the creation of the world, the arrival of the first king, Hotu-Matua, and the deeds of gods and heroes. They might contain the official king lists, tracing the lineage of the island's rulers through the centuries, a vital record of social and political history. Other theories suggest a more practical purpose, that the tablets are sophisticated calendars, charting the movements of the sun, moon, and stars to govern the cycles of planting, harvesting, and religious festivals. These interpretations paint a picture of a stable, organized, and spiritually rich society, a civilization in command of its history and its environment. But there are darker interpretations, whispers of a more tragic story etched into the wood. Some scholars connect the mystery of Rongo-Rongo to the other great enigma of Easter Island, its dramatic ecological and societal collapse. It is now widely understood that the island, once lush with palm forests, was progressively deforested by its inhabitants to transport and erect the Moai and for agricultural land. This environmental degradation led to resource scarcity, warfare, and a catastrophic decline in the population. Could the Rongo-Rongo tablets be the records of this decline? Could they be desperate chronicles of the final generations, documenting the famines, the clan wars, and the brutal struggles for survival that ensued? Perhaps they are not hymns to the gods, but ritual texts for a society in crisis, desperate pleas for salvation, or even grim accounts of the very conflicts that were tearing their world apart. In this haunting view, the Rapa Nui were not just victims of external forces, but a people who wrote down the story of their own self-destruction. Today, the quest to unravel the Rongo-Rongo enigma continues in labs and universities around the world. Linguists, archaeologists, anthropologists, and even computer scientists apply modern techniques to this ancient puzzle. They meticulously compare the symbols, searching for patterns and repetitions that might betray an underlying grammatical structure. They analyze the physical tablets, dating the wood to better understand the script's timeline. They scour the surviving fragments of the old Rongo-Rongo, hoping to find a linguistic key that fits the lock of the glyphs. Yet, without a Rosetta Stone, a parallel text with a known language, decipherment remains a monumental, perhaps impossible task. Every proposed translation has been met with significant academic skepticism, and no single theory has gained widespread acceptance. The script remains as silent and inscrutable as the stone faces of the Moai. The tragic loss of Rongo-Rongo's meaning serves as a profound and stark warning about the fragility of knowledge and the irreversible damage of cultural destruction.
It highlights how quickly centuries of wisdom can be erased, how a single generation of violence and disease can sever a link to the past that can never be reforged. The tablets are a monument not only to the ingenuity of the Rapa Nui, but also to the immense cultural heritage that has been lost across the globe due to colonialism and conflict. They compel us to confront the deepest questions about human civilization, language, and the shadows of a lost world. They are a powerful echo from the pages of history we can no longer read, a story that may never be fully told. As we gaze upon these beautiful, mysterious symbols, we are left with a final, haunting question. Are we looking at the proud chronicle of a great civilization at its height, or are we witnessing the final, desperate testament of a world on the brink of collapse?